Alcon, where were you when the World Cup T20 final was taking place 24 hours ago? Did you expect a better performance than these two teams? Did you expect that they would not have been there because they weren't good enough? What did you expect out of the World Cup T20 series? Well, let's not talk about the finalists first. They're England and Pakistan. And trust me, they performed extremely well. They deserved to be in the finals. But because of this, and seeing that it differs so much from previous years, when you get places like India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa performing well and doing well in these competitions and making it to the final. This time it was England's turn and also Pakistan. I want to tell you a little bit about India. The Indian team has been washed with a few in different situations. I think they are always pointing at Virat Kohli. If there's a batsman in the world that is tremendous and among the first three in the last decade, it is Virat Kohli. He's the captain of the Indian team. He has been participating wonderfully all across the world. And he is well known as one of the best batsmen in today's game. But all of a sudden, 6 or 7 months ago, a number of things may have happened. Of course, we are in the Caribbean and looking at him, we are not understanding why was he moving off the game for a particular period of time. Some felt it was a family affair. Some felt it was other things. But at the same time, he dropped his form. He was not playing as well. He was actually playing unorthodox batting. And I was surprised because I thought he was a beautiful batsman. But he just fell apart. And he himself volunteered to drop out of the game for a while and come back later on. Then you found out that there was a little bit of confusion because he was replaced by Rohit Sharma. And at that point in time, he was reluctant to return to the team. He eventually did. And with a little bit of psychology assisted, he was able to come in and accept the position as the assistant captain for these tournaments coming up. Well, did it work? He started and he was playing, but the quality of his batting was deplorable in compared to what he was doing a few months before. So why did this happen? How did it work? Apparently he's been talking to the right type of people. And all of a sudden, recently when they were fighting to get into the World Cup group, there was an improvement in his attitude, there was an improvement in his batting performance and everything else. On the other hand, there was not so much improvement on the captain. They seem not to be understanding each other in the way that they should. There was much criticism, there was much terrible displaying and discussions among the players themselves. This has been said by the people out of India themselves. And now they show up, and Kohli is in the game and coming forward into this, and we expected that this is going to be the time everything here is. But do you know what? During the course of participation in this World Cup game, particularly in the one they played against England, there were some instances that just did not work as well to make India a possible winner in the tournament. Some said they could have looked at the television and see the disgusting manner in which these players are playing, talking among themselves and reacting negatively. The result was they were beaten and beaten out of it. But it introduced England, a team with an enthusiasm that was unreal as far as I'm concerned. I've seen a lot of these games, and I know that Pakistan was on the improve. They were doing extremely well. They came out to the Caribbean, they showed their worth, and they were continuously doing well. They came into it, and they were put to play in Melbourne. Melbourne, a wicket where the ball bounces and it shoots all over the place. It seams off the wicket. Not an easy wicket to play on. But England put their heads down and they worked so hard. They were struggling to get singles. They were struggling to get boundaries. And as a matter of fact, they were chasing because the Pakistanis batted first and England's bowling and fielding was tremendous. So when they came to bat, all they had to do was to score more than 138. And they found all sorts of difficulty because of the fabulous performance levels of the Pakistanis. Similar to England, they had some young players and they were playing well. They had the experience in Stokes, who was doing wonderfully, and at the end of the game, he turned out to be the great one. And they won the game. And they are the champions. It was one of the better finals that I have seen. Everything in that game was good. Bowling, length, line, and intelligence, magnificent on both sides. When the batters on both sides came to the field, they knew what they had to be faced with. They were taking their singles intelligently. They were not just going swinging the bat about the place hoping for sixes and no, they weren't doing that. That's the reason why the good bowlers reduced each other on the team, which means the scores weren't high. But the result was very, very interesting. England's gone up again to winning the T20 World Cup. Congratulations to them. Pakistan, you have improved considerably over the past 4 or 5 years. I'm very pleased with some of those youngsters as well. And I hope that they continue and maybe transfer their performances into the ODI and the test matches. They're just wonderful to look at. It was an entertainment style. The game of cricket won that one. Congratulations to both of them, and we certainly hope that they keep going on and on and on.